Welcome back to ESA Summer Online, everyone. We are raising money for Alzheimer's Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. And we would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring our event. Now it is time for MackMcD, and they're going to be running Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Take it away.
Hello, I'm MackMcD. This is Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. My estimate's a little tight, so let's just get on with it. As soon as I hit radar off here, time will start. So in 3, 2, 1, and go. So Substance is slightly different from the Sons of Liberty version of the game in that it includes some extras like VR missions. It came out initially on PS2, and then it was also released on Xbox. This is the PC version, which is the Xbox port. So it's a port of a port. And it's notorious for being kind of crap, to be honest. Luckily, there's a lovely man who created a fix called V's Fix and makes it playable today on modern hardware with very few bugs, but still, there are some. With that said, it's got the fastest loads of any other version of this game. And as such, the run is plus or minus 8 to 9 minutes faster just from faster loads through codecs and cutscenes. And that's why I'm running it today. This is any percent, which is basically just get through the game as fast as you can on the easiest difficulty. And yeah, not a lot in the way of limitations. We don't allow still, even on any percent, we don't allow the use of stealth camo or infinite ammo bandana. Just because they don't really save you any time, and it's just not as fun. So here we are, first boss fight already. Olga, we got a left side pattern, which isn't ideal. She's going to tell us a little bit of a story about her parents. Ultimately, we just want 4 headshots on Olga. And I've whiffed 1 already. So this is going to be a slow Olga pattern. Yeah, this is a pretty rough Olga fight so far. But even with a rough fight, she's going to go down fairly quick if I can actually land my last shot here. There we go. Not the best Olga fight, but hey, that's how she goes. There's not a lot in the way of RNG in this run, but how that fight starts is one of the few pieces of RNG that there actually is. She can either go to the left or go to the right. You want her to go to the right, and it just gives you a faster, easier pattern. All of the boss fights in this game are fairly quick. I think the longest one will be the Harrier fight when we get to it, and it's also arguably one of the most difficult. But the vast majority of the boss fights in this game are lightning fast. Blink and you'll miss it fast. Just due to the strats in very easy. As you notice, we're just tanking alerts. It doesn't matter on very easy. Alerts don't carry over to the next room, so as long as it doesn't slow you down, doesn't matter if you get spotted. Keep on running. The next room will load as though nobody knew you were there. Guards aren't very smart in this version of the game, or this difficulty rather. Now we equip most items in mid-roll, such as that camera there. We're equipping that for later use. The reason that we equip in a roll is if you do menuing while you're just running normally, you actually ruin Snake's momentum, slows him down a little bit. So when possible, you want to do all your menuing in the middle of a roll animation, whether that's a forward somersault like Snake does or a fancy flashy cartwheel, as Raiden does a little bit later on in the game. Coming to the end of this engine room here, we will have only 1 Semtex bomb control to worry about. Shoot that. And off we go into the next hallway. So you're going to see a lot of cutscene and codec skipping. This is a Kojima game, which means there's a million cutscenes and a million codec calls. And what seems like a mundane part of the run, and you know, to be honest, it's mundane. It's also key. Like, skipping cutscenes and codecs can save or lose you a significant amount of time. It doesn't look like much, but especially with codecs, you have to time a double triangle press to trigger the fast scrolling of the text. If you triple tap or only single tap and mistime it, it just pauses the codec. You lose time there. It might be a half a second here or half a second there, but I don't know what the exact count is of codecs, but I would say there's plus or minus 100 of them, so that adds up over the course of an hour-long run. Guard rush. This is also a boss fight, so to speak. You want to get this guy behind the box as soon as possible, which we got him, so that's good. Still isn't a great guard rush. Finally, we have 3 more guards here. 3 well-timed shots. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of that boss fight. Small little optimizations like in guard rush there. You want to, if you kill those guys, their bodies disappear faster. Anyway. Ladder glitch. Enjoy the first of 2 glitches in the game. We don't climb ladders in Metal Gear Solid 2. With a very specific set of inputs... Ah, I got spotted. Well, you get to see it again. With a very specific set of inputs, you basically just confuse the game as to basically where you are in the map. And you could just skip the entire thing and dart to the bottom. First continue. That's a shame. I was just a little bit too far away from that second guard when I tried to hold him up and it didn't trigger the hold up, so... It happens. That's okay. It's only a 20-second time loss. Just means more time for us to save later in the run, right? Alright. Coming into the holds, we have to take 4 photos of this ray. And we're going to do it from 2 spots. So here is the first photo. Second. Run over here. Line up a very specific photo here. And then that. And that equals a front left, front right, straight on front shot, and a clear shot of the Marines logo. I'm sure you all saw it. Two spot photos, I believe, is only possible in widescreen versions of the game. It does not work in the original PS2 version. I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody in chat will correct me if I am. Let's avoid that save boss. If you're mashing through those cutscenes and just happen to hit yes on that, it's nasty time loss. Here we are with some very skillful cutscene and codec skips. And we move into everybody's favorite Metal Gear character, Raiden. Now, unlike with Snake, where we don't roll much with Snake unless it's up or downstairs, with Raiden, we want to roll any time that we can fit one in while still running due straight. Every roll saves about 0.1 seconds, I think it was timed. It might be 0.08 seconds, but I'm, semantics. We're talking fractions of a second here. Nevertheless, over the course of a run, again, it adds up. I'm going to skip through this node. Mash out of this. And we hold select to go directly into this codec call. You'll see me do that a lot. Again, you won't be able to tell that I'm doing it. The only way you'll be able to tell if I'm timing a codec call bang on is you won't even hear it ring. Such as right there. Now, we have to wait for an elevator to come down, but instead we're just going to go back from whence we came and pick up an M9. There's literally no benefit to doing this, none whatsoever, but we're either standing there waiting for an elevator or we come back here and grab this M9. Might as well keep busy, right? We'll get one as soon as we go up the elevator if we don't do this, but again, it's literally there's no reason not to. Swag strat, as it's known, to go and grab that before the elevator comes down. Couple of more cutscenes and codecs to skip, and we actually get started with the game. We've pretty much just started playing. The beginning of this plant section with Raiden has quite a few codecs and cutscenes to skip, but as we get deeper in, they become less frequent, and there's a lot more uninterrupted gameplay. Uninterrupted's probably the wrong word. Less interrupted gameplay. But the beginning of this run is pretty narrative heavy. So we come through a door and cutscene, codec. Another minor optimization here is with the M9 equipped. So we're gonna run up here, shoot this guard, and then we're gonna unequip the M9. What that's gonna do is, since we have it unequipped coming into this cutscene here in the next room, when we leave the cutscene, we will have it as re-equipped. Just because the cutscene forces us to. Why is that important? Well, since we didn't manually equip this gun, the game assumes that it's in our previous selection, which allows us to quick equip it later on, saving us a menu. One menu is equal, I don't know, 0.75 of a second, and on very easy, every fraction of a second actually counts. This is likely the most optimized version of this game in terms of difficulty and platform. Very easy on PC, or any percent, as I've been calling it. We're dialing it down as far as we possibly can. So, since I haven't touched the M9 here through this whole thing, I'll come out of this cutscene with it unequipped, but with one quick button press, I'll be able to have it back in my hands, which is what I want. We also play this on New Game Plus. New Game Plus offers no benefit whatsoever, except for the ability to skip these cutscenes here, where Stillman teaches us how to freeze bombs. So now I can equip my M9 and carry on. You're going to see a familiar box. I wonder who that is. And what you probably just missed was me equipping the coolant into my previous slot. Coolant and M9 are key for this bomb disposal section. So we're going to run around this corner. We're going to want to get down here as quickly as we can. It's a little bit slow, but we should be okay. Open this hatch. This guard sees us. We don't care. We shoot him, freeze a bomb, and answer a codec. One thing about... there's not a lot you have to set up in terms of options for this game, but if you're looking to run it, the number one key thing that you need to change in options before you start a run is your quick equip setting. By default, when you tap a button, when you just tap the menu trigger there, it unequips whatever you have equipped. You don't want that. You want it set to previous so that you can very quickly, obviously, swap to the previous weapon or item or whatever it was you were using. I think it's pretty obvious why that would save time. So you will see me occasionally pre-menu to something and then immediately switch back to something else. That's just so that I have it on hand for instantaneous access later on in the run. Like I did with the camera, like I did with the coolant coming across the bridge. There will be a lot of instances of me doing that. So, slightly bad movement coming up to this heliport bomb. I'm going to take it safe and just run up to it. You can roll into a crawl and get that, and it's technically faster, but if you don't line it up quite right, then you miss the bomb entirely and lose probably 2-3 seconds. So I'm in a marathon. I'm going to take it safe, especially since I've already hit a continue. I want to stay under estimate. This EF connecting bridge is loaded with claymores, and there's a very particular route that we want to take going south on it. We're going to get warned about claymores here in order to avoid them. So come down here, just take this route. It's a little bit slow, but it's the safest way to go. On our way back up, though, we're going to do something a little bit different. Run around this corner, jump down. This guy's going to notice us, but we don't care. We're busy freezing bombs.
Who's there?
Whoops. So there's that poor codec skip thing I was talking about, where you accidentally pause it. Moving on, we're going to have a couple of quick tranks here. So that's another one of the key differences of Very Easy is every guard is a one-shot trank, no matter where you hit them in the body. It's very nice for running, gunning, and just darting through each room. The Strut A-bomb is notorious. We're actually, I guess you could call this a glitch. We're going to freeze it from a spot that we shouldn't be able to access it from. And also, we can do a thing called coolant rise here, where while we're crawling, if we equip the coolant and then tap A to rise, we actually get back to our feet instantaneously, rather than waiting for the getting up animation, which takes. If you had to ask me, I'd say it takes a full minute. Like it feels so slow and so long, but it's probably only about a second.
It's the enemy. I need help.
Answer a codec from our second favorite Metal Gear character, Rose. She likes to interrupt our very important stealth mission here. Does anybody know what tomorrow is? Or is it today? Is it today? I don't even listen to the codecs anymore. I don't remember what anybody says in this game. 2 more quick shots coming up. There's one. And then a blind shot to this guy. Bomb number 6? I haven't been keeping count. I'm sure chat's been keeping count. Turns out Stillman is a fraud. And a liar. Run across this bridge, tank this alert. We want to tank this alert so that we can shoot that guy and never have to worry about him again. Strut C bombs just in this bathroom. Freeze it. Hey, a codec. Weird. Skip that, and then we have to run and grab sensor B, which we never use. But if we don't grab it, we cannot continue. Try and roll into it. Ah, that's a swag strat there. That roll's a lot trickier than it looks. You can get caught up on the corner or just miss the sensor entirely. Absolutely unnecessary, but it's fun to try and do. So now we're on a timer. We only have a measly 400 seconds to get to back to basically where we came into the game, down in the dock. 400 seconds sounds like a small amount of time. It's actually might as well be an hour. Still, this is a speed run, so we want to get there as quick as possible. We're going to take the north route coming back this way because the guard happens to be at the south. Just saves us from having to deal with him. So again, rolling. For something that seems simple, like just roll, it's faster. Yes and no. If you are doing a roll and you have to turn immediately after, like if you're doing a roll, you want to make sure that you're carrying on straight after it. If you roll and immediately have to turn, that's technically slower. So you want to use them sparingly. Only when you can fit the full roll animation in while heading in a straight line. And it's also risky. Every roll that you do, you could potentially get hung up on geometry, which loses a bunch of time. Or even just not in an ideal line, which could lose you time. It's not like a lot of games where it's just, you know, jump the whole way because it's faster. You actually have to use them somewhat sparingly. Roll into a codec answer. Whoops. And into the next boss fight. This is Fortune. Fortune's been an evolution on how to fight her. Basically, we want to have her fire a certain amount of shots as quickly as possible. And there's a certain amount of things in the room that she has to blow up. Like, she has to blow up this forklift. She has to shoot down these lights that are above me. So there's 1. There's 2. And she's going to shoot the 3rd. She has to shoot these 3 boxes. So It's 1, 2, 3. And then the last things that she has to shoot are 2 yellow barrels on either side of the room. But we're going to just bait shots from her until an elevator cutscene. So we're just going to wait her out. And we should get the elevator cutscene after the next shot. Okay, it's coming down. So now I'm going to bait her into shooting that barrel. Wait for her to aim. Run over here. Bait her into shooting this barrel. Oh, jeez. Thanks, Fortune. There is a little bit of RNG in Fortune, but there we go. Now she wigs out, and we're done with the fight. So that wasn't ideal. There is still a small amount of RNG. World record holder for that boss fight specifically knows exactly the route to take to basically optimize how fast it is. I haven't practiced it. All right, here's the ultimate bet. Is Mac going to hit this claymore when he grabs these chests? Oh, nice. Ah, I got the damage cancel and managed to hit the second claymore. Oh, well. It wouldn't be a MackMcD run without hitting a claymore while grabbing those chaffs. Even my PB has my 4-second time loss of hitting a claymore there. Such as it is. You can carry on without grabbing those chaffs, but it's just... I don't like the strat that I have to do later on without using them. Like it's a nice strat, and it's just I'm not super consistent with it. So again, marathon, better safe than sorry. Take the few second hit and grab the chaff grenades. All right, so we're gonna use that coolant rise trick again here to pick up a claymore and get it out of our way. So roll, claymore, coolant rise, and now we don't have to worry about that one when we come up this way a little bit later on in the run. Saves us about a second. Run back up to the helipad where mysteriously the Harrier is missing. I'm sure that won't affect us whatsoever at any point in the run, but we will have one of the more entertaining boss fights, actually. Fatman. Roller skating bomb disposal man. Well, I guess he's not a bomb disposal man. He's more of a bomb placing man. So we're going to immediately run to the right here and freeze this bomb. Shoot him to the ground. Headshot 1. Wait, wait, wait. Headshot 2. Hopefully he goes south. He does. Down. Take him out. Oh, I'm not close enough. And freeze this bomb. Fatman's gone. Move him off of the last bomb there is. That's it. No more bombs. That was actually a pretty solid Fatman fight. I'd be happy with that in a normal run. So we'll meet the Cyborg Ninja. We're going to skip everything that he says. And we're going to learn that there's a gentleman in the first shell core that has the information we need, but we need a disguise. So we've been given a suit. We're going to equip that suit and then immediately unequip it. So it's on previous. As you can see, I can just flip it on and off whenever I want. I don't think I need to have it unequipped at this point, but there is definitely one room where having it on actually loads slower. Just Kojima things. So to be safe, I take it off anytime that I can when I'm going through a load, just to make sure that I don't potentially lose time to load times. Much more significant of an impact on the console versions of the game, but better safe than sorry. Thanks, Rose. We're fine. So equipped. This camera doesn't care that I don't have an AK, but all of the guards do. So we're going to grab one right here. Equip it. This guy's a little confused. Yeah, mind your own business. carrying on. We now have the disguise that we need, but this dude's mostly interested in our fancy moves.
What are you doing?
Slow to react, so goodbye. B2 is a tricky room. We're coming down here to grab the directional microphone. And we want to do it without arousing any suspicion, ideally. Gonna roll our way up here, and then take a very specific path through these guards.
Venus in Cancer.
And carry on. B1. So in B1, what we're going to do is we're going to do a single knock as soon as we possibly can to alert a guard and bring him closer to us. If you do it too slow, he walks, and he takes forever to get here. And we're going to set up a very specific position, unequip our AK and our suit, because this is where that load happens. So if you're wearing the BDU coming into this room, you'll lose probably 2 seconds just in load time. Very strange. And here's the biggest piece of RNG in the game. Where is Ames going to be? And this is a very good Ames position.
You're Ames, aren't you?
What we call the God Ames is he's right where you need to be. He can be all the way on the other side of the room, which if you don't check for him first, which obviously lose time, I never check for him. If you don't check for him first, you can lose up to 8 seconds in this room, just based on roll of the dice, but we got lucky. Very good Ames position. That guy can't shoot, but we can.
Send backup. I have it on.
Back up to the first floor. Alright, in true Metal Gear fashion, we got a little bit of backtracking to do. We're going to go back to Strut F so that we can grab the PSG-1 sniper rifle. Contrary to what D-Lime's, wonderful, wonderful runner, actually world record holder currently, if I'm not mistaken, unless it's changed hands again, that world record, it's moving around. He did VR missions the other day, I can't remember what day it was, fantastic run. And he claimed that the PSG-1 is not a good gun. I disagree. I think it's a fantastic gun. In his defense, that particular set of VR missions, not the most fun. But in this game, I actually love the PSG-1 in the main game. And if I pull it off well, you'll see why. Like, every gun in the game kind of has a limited fire rate, except for the PSG-1. The PSG-1 you can fire as fast as you can mash, which comes in handy during one of the boss fights for sure.
Well, while you're grabbing those guns, do you mind if I quickly jump in?
No, by all means.
All right, we got a $30 donation from Dev Insanity with no comment, but putting it towards the Sonic Adventure DX All Stories category change for the end of the marathon. And I just want to let everybody know as well, please do keep your donations coming in, as right now our sponsor Kaspersky are currently matching all donations up to $5,000. You already saw an amazing $1,000 donation come in from them there. Do please keep them coming in. We have a number of donation bid wars that you can put yourself towards while you're donating, like the moon jump. Right now, TC14 has came back from only being at $10 and is currently winning with 70. But will Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan take it? Who knows?
All right,
Maybe
this
Raiden
is
will do the moon jump.
this is the most notorious boss fight in the game. The Harrier. 2, 3, 4. I always count out loud for these shots. I don't know why. It doesn't help me, but I do it. So there's 5. Skip this cutscene. Hopefully get that 6th shot in. Nope. Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay. This might be the perfect Harrier, so wait for this cutscene. As soon as he drops these bombs, we'll skip it, fire off a shot. 1, 2. And that is a flawless Harrier. It's a pretty tricky way to pull that off. Very tight timing on all those shots. What can I say? I'm really good at the game. Whoops. Save boss. He speaks too soon. Oh well. If you had anything else, Argic, you can feel free.
No worries. Just want to let everybody know that we are raising money here for Alzheimer's Fonden. They are a Swedish national fundraising organization who are focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. All the money that is donated here will be going towards the fundraising organization there. Their aim and purpose is to increase the fundraising for the benefits of scientific research in order to try and find a cure for Alzheimer's. They are also enabling training for caregivers on the subject of dementia for those that are helping their loved ones and relatives who may have Alzheimer's or dementia at the moment. They're also organized projects, camps, and events for youngsters affected in different ways due to parents or other relatives who may be diagnosed. Please do keep your donations coming in, everybody. They're absolutely amazing.
Yes, indeed. Let's not forget why we're here. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but Alzheimer's is actually hits a little close to home for me. So once we get a little bit later in the run, I'll tell my story. But in the meantime, I almost died. I don't know if you saw that. I got a little bit cocky on that area where I had to shimmy along the wall. Almost fell to my death, but we pulled it back. We're okay. Coming into Shell 2 core. Just saving time by mashing words together. A little bit later, we're going to have... Well, first of all, we have to get down into the bottom area and grab an excellent weapon in the Metal Gear games, the Nikita missile. It's a remote-controlled missile that you get to control in first person. And we get to fire it past the president a little bit later on. But I want to explain a glitch that's coming up shortly after that, even though it's probably a minute or two away. It's very, very tricky, and it's one of the most notorious parts of the run. I may not pull it off. I'm going to try it with a couple of attempts, but the shakier my hands are, the harder it is to do, so I'm not making any promises. It's what's known as swim glitch. It's the only out of bounds in the entire game. And it's going to happen right at that corner I just went around when we come back into this room. And the idea is that you have to swim into that corner and keep Raiden kind of swimming into it, and he'll slowly start to make his way up, just due to weird physics. It'll take him out of the water, over the ceiling, and you can basically do an air swim, a la Sekiro, and go straight to the boss fight room. Saves about 18 seconds, ideally, but only if you do it well. The issue with it is that it's rather slippery to stay stuck on that corner. Raiden likes to slip off of it. Naturally, the game doesn't intend for you to be able to do that, so you're constantly fighting this weird balance of basically sticking to that corner. And if you could do it in one single cycle, that's godlike, but most likely you'll do it in 2, maybe 3. But if it takes more than 3 cycles, you're actually losing time. So hopefully I can do it in a 2 cycle or less. I'll keep trying it if I'm like 3-4 cycles, but if I surface at any point, I'm probably going to abandon it and just swim normally. A couple of more codecs. I took these photos 30 minutes ago. So, you guys just saw basically nothing, and to me, I saw an absolutely wonderful display of excellent codec and cutscene skipping. Doesn't seem like much, but it feels good when you nail it. Or, more accurately, it feels bad when you don't. Oh, jeez. And see, there's the dangers of rolling. If you get caught on geometry, you're not saving any time at all. But, hey. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Alright, so here's Swim Glitch. We're going to give it a shot. Wish me luck. I'm probably not going to talk much while I try this. Just want to focus on trying to get the timing right. Not great. Alright, so that would be a very bad swim glitch. We probably would lose time, but there it is. At least I got to demonstrate it. And we're going to swim up here and blink and you'll miss it boss fight against Vamp. Another fight that looks simple on the surface, but the timing of those shots is actually pretty tight. If you just mash stingers at him, you're going to hit iframes and he's going to duck into the water. You're going to lose a lot of time. And if you do it too slow, again, he's going to duck into the water. You're going to lose a ton of time. So the timing on firing those stingers is pretty specific to make sure that you stun lock them and finish that fight in a couple of seconds. We're coming up to one of the slowest parts of the run, but there's still quite a few things to explain in it. We're going to equip an AK for use later. And we're going to meet Emma, Otacon's brainiac of a sister. Runs in the family. She can't swim, so she's just going to hold on to our back and we're going to save her life. Oops. We run into this room. We don't need to worry about her. She'll follow us. It's one of the only sections where we can just leave her behind and she'll be happy to follow us. Everywhere else we go, we have to hold her hand. This is one of the areas of the run where you can lose focus and actually not play optimally. Like, it's easy to just be like, things are moving slow. You know, I don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention. But if you think about it, since you're moving so slowly, your lines matter way more. If you take a slightly longer route to get somewhere, you're just bleeding time because of how slowly you're forced to move. We have to open this door because we never opened it on the way through. It's actually very lucky that they programmed it so that door can be opened from this side, because if you play the game normally, you would have already opened it. But since we skipped that whole section, we don't care about Emma's health. As long as Emma's health doesn't get below the A in her name. If her health gets below the A in her name, she actually gets tired and sits down every time you let her go. It's a horrible thing to have happen. Ends up losing you a whole bunch of time through this escort mission, but if you swim fast enough, it's not something you really have to worry about. Emma doesn't like bugs, so we're just gonna gingerly carry her. Alright, so second to last bit of this escort mission here, or I guess third to last. This guard happens to yawn at the most inopportune time. Thanks, buddy. Very attentive guards. These aren't genome super soldiers, I don't believe. Well, you get what you pay for. Well, that guy is on his own, though. Here's inattentive guard number 2. Now we're going to do what's known as Emma push here, and basically we're just going to set her up right at the door and then push her through. Uh-oh, did she make it through? She did. Okay, good. That just causes her to spawn up here. It saves you a little bit of time. It's just a little bit of length that you don't have to walk carrying her. Saves a couple of seconds, actually. Again, doesn't seem like much, but It all adds up in an optimized run. We got one Cypher that's going to be in focus. We're going to shoot him down. And I don't know why, but there's a guard in the top right that you're going to see who is absolutely blind. He does not care that we're here. Like, the blindest of the bunch. In a game full of blind guards, nobody's worse than that guy. All right, equip an AK again. Coming to the treatment facility. We got 2 guards that we have to dispatch. And the hand-holding section is almost over. All right. So with the hand-holding section over, we're coming into everybody's favorite part of a Metal Gear Solid 2 run, he said sarcastically. This is the sniping section. Now, in Very Easy especially, there's not a lot to shoot. So this is a 4.5 minute long auto-scroller, and outside of this Cypher, we'll shoot this guard. We can. Yeah, we got him. All right. We're really good. We're marksmen. That's fine. It's pretty forgiving, the sniping section. Whoops. Needs one more. All right. And there's a Cypher here. Should be one over my head somewhere. There he is. It was slow enough that he got that far away. Should be another one right. Oh, snake called. We'll leave that one for later. Line up this shot. Oh, for this guy. And then this guard. Now, the only real way to lose time here is if you aim close to Emma while she's walking, she'll trip and fall. No one really knows why. Like, I don't know if she's paying attention to where we're aiming or not, but you want to make sure that you're never aiming your gun near Emma as she's walking along this, because she will fall, and it takes her 7 seconds to get back up. With that said, we're done sniping until Emma gets close to this center pillar here, and if you've got more donations or anything else to read there, Argic, now's the time.
It's a perfect time, ain't it? Gotta love auto-scrollers and speedruns. We got a $5 donations from Zopne, with no comment there. Thank you very much for your donations. And again, just want to let everybody know that we have some prizes from our sponsors. View Sonic are one of our sponsors for the marathon here, and they have provided a View Sonic Elite XG270QG monitor ready for use here. It is a $30 minimum donation to be entered into the raffle to try and win that one. And we also have Kaspersky donating a Nintendo Switch, and that is a $50 donation to get a chance to win one of that. So we've got 2 prizes this event to get your donations in for.
Excellent.
Indeed, indeed. And of course, one of the other things coming up later on tonight, we've got the Trackmania showcase here. We got a few Trackmania games coming through, but we got 2 bid wars currently open at the moment for Trackmania Nations Forever. We can do a shortcut showcase, as it has a lot of shortcuts and even a few new ones. And if met, Virtual will show off some of the crazy things that people did to achieve world records on specific maps. It's currently at $90 out of $250 there, so that needs another $140. And we also have the shortcut showcase for the new Trackmania 2020 game, currently set to currently at 171 out of $250. So both of those are still available to go through there. And again, please do keep all your donations coming in. Kaspersky are currently doubling all donations up to a maximum of 5,000. And again, thank you everybody for watching, donating, and sharing about our marathon here. We still got more entertainment for you.
Awesome. You know what? This is actually a prime idea. You know, I hate to be that guy, but I'm proud to finally be on the big stage. I got to take a selfie here. It's just, you know.
Nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's gonna... Right on. Thanks, guys. I'll show that to my mom. So as I said, yeah, Alzheimer's is a great cause. My grandfather, actually, on my father's side, suffered from Alzheimer's in the later stage of his life. So, great timing, actually, for finally getting to run into a marathon like this. So thanks, ESA, for letting me showcase this game, and thanks for supporting such a great cause. Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. We're almost done the sniping section. When Emma gets to about here, it ends, and we're going to have another unbelievably, painstakingly long boss fight. Another Vamp boss fight that actually requires me to practice a little bit. So at the end of the sniping section, you're going to see me just kind of sitting here and moving a little bit to the left. What I'm actually doing is just kind of training my thumb to flick as little as possible on the analog stick, because you just need to move that tiniest little bit to line up for the next boss fight, and you can overshoot it very easily. So I'm just going to do this until the cutscene comes in, and then we're going to do this long, long boss fight. There we go. Oh, hope you guys are still awake. All right. So yeah, lining up that shot takes just the tiniest movement to the left. You can easily overshoot it. Some players actually use their keyboards and just tap left on the keyboard, because they can do it, you know, very, very quick. For some reason, I can't seem to get that to work, despite having, you know, a decent keyboard with linear switches. I always overshoot it. So I've just learned to flick with my analog stick just right. Got a couple of ciphers that we got to shoot as we run through here. Whoops. Now the latter part of this game has quite a few sections of just, I won't call them auto-scrollers. That was the worst one by far. But there are a couple of sections where you're just forced to listen to dialogue or whatever it might be. So I'll do my best to remain entertaining through those sections. But, yeah, we'll skip this cutscene, codec. And we're into the torture sequence. So here's Solidus. He's our dad. He's not actually our dad, but he's more of an adopted father. Stepfather, so to speak. Probably not the best stepfather that anybody's had. And in this first little torture sequence, fun fact, you don't have to press anything. It's actually impossible to lose this. The oxygen will go all the way to 0, but the health never moves. I think actually there's a couple of people in the Metal Gear speedrunning community that have played with the memory of the game and actually tried to lower the health in this section, and it's actually coded to be impossible. I might be misremembering that, but like, it's just, you cannot die in that first torture sequence. You definitely can in the second one, and it's one of the hardest parts of the run on the hardest difficulty, but on this one it's not too bad. So Olga's going to punch us in the gut. And normally we would have to wait for a call from Rose here, but this is a speed run. We're not going to wait for anything, so we're actually just going to open up our codec. We're going to call her. And no, we don't want to save. There we go. So we could just trigger that instead of having to wait for it. Nude Raiden with his fancy sunglasses and his cool wine glass tattoo. And this room is notoriously difficult. The timing of getting to this first guard on the second floor here is incredibly tight. If you don't make it to him in time, you'll cause an alert. And worst case scenario, you'll get shot while trying to make a very particular jump. And if you do, you'll lose a bunch of time. So we want to kick this guy. All right, so far so good. We don't have the alert. And we made the jump. Okay, so we're safe. We're safe there, but that whole thing it's scary every time. Like after hundreds and hundreds of attempts of doing this run, I don't think I'm alone in saying that. That room never gets less scary. So we got to move ahead a little bit here and wait for 6 codec calls. You want to be in a particular spot. Like it's not super picky, but you need to be close to that door for these to actually come through and go through as fast as you can. The timing between each one is actually random, within like a second, I think. These are probably my favorite part of the game, casually. They're hilarious, and they're terrifying. And my first time playing it as a kid, very, very unsettling. The breaking of the fourth wall was fantastic, and for all the shortcomings that this game has, I gotta tell you, it's a masterpiece. This section here is also on a timer. Once you swipe, you have to swipe, or the timer doesn't start. You got 45 seconds until the cutscene loads. So you can just run around and be kind of silly, whatever. Punch Snake, have him chase you.
What are you thinking?
Look up his nostrils. Basically, just in general, enjoy yourself. You should be practicing using the sword, but we don't use the sword at all until the very last boss fight in this game. Or in this run, rather.
Do you mind if I jump in quickly?
Not at all.
Well, we got a $20 donation from Valkuma, who says, Emma falls so that you can aim over her. There's a chance for her to block guards or ciphers if she is standing. And we also got a $50 anonymous donation saying, I was never interested in Metal Gear Solid, but MackMcD here does a very great job, and this is a very interesting run. And I fully agree. This has been an amazing run there. And of course, Raiden doing the flips is always hilarious.
Wow, that flattery. Thank you so much. Appreciate your donations, guys. And thanks for that tidbit of information. 600 runs later, still learning stuff. Okay, so what I just did there is you do a first-person punch-punch-kick. And if you let go of kick at just the right moment, it actually pushes Raiden's body into the load room, the trigger for that door, so you get to skip that whole thing. You just basically cheat the load trigger for this room. And now we get to aim up here and time a bunch of stingers to try and get these guys before any of them come down. There's a little bit of RNG here too, in that sometimes the guards will get stuck on another one's body, and you can't really control how fast Snake is taking out the guards on his side. But this setup so far seems to be the most consistent. Yeah, so one got through there. I'm going to let Snake take care of him. You can aim down when that happens and try to take them out yourself, but it's debatable whether that actually saves time, especially if you manage to miss another one while you're looking down. So I just tend to stay up here and keep trying to time this. Wow, that seemed like a good Tengu 2 section. And once again, more unskippable dialogue. Solidus is going to tell us about the S3 program, which is evidently about the Solid Snake simulation. So this is all very similar to the events of Metal Gear Solid 1, specifically for the purpose of creating another soldier as adept as Solid Snake. But that turns out to be a lie too, because this game is just conspiracies on conspiracies on conspiracies. But after it's done, we're going to have another super long boss fight. The exact opposite of the European Extreme Raise boss fight. If anybody's familiar with the European Extreme version of this run, this boss fight's, I think, 20 minutes long. I think it's 16 to 20 minutes long, depending on how well you do it. It's slightly faster on very easy. And that's going to happen in, give or take, 30 seconds. So if there's anything else you got there, Argik?
We do indeed. We got a $10 donation from G. Burek, with no comment there, and a $50 donation from Hepenwana, who's put their donation towards the Trackmania 2020 shortcut showcase. So that is putting that donation more up there. A quick refresh, I'll let you know that's total. It's currently now sitting at $221 out of $250. So only $29 remain to get that shortcut showcase.
Wonderful. Man, the donations are just rolling in. So that was the raised boss fight on the easiest difficulty.
I admit that I underestimated you.
It can be done in as few as 3 rockets. It's usually safer to do it in 4. Just hit that last guy in the knee before shooting him in the face. This is the torture sequence that you cannot skip or just ignore. Even on very easy, you can die in here. 9 button presses per second will keep it so that your oxygen doesn't go down at all. Looks like I'm maintaining that. Right on.
What do you hope to hear? You know he doesn't know anything.
It's not him I want the answers from.
All right, and with that, we are in our final series of cutscene and codec skips. It's the longest codec coming up here, where the quote-unquote colonel tells us about how they are basically AI life forms, and the S3 program isn't about Solid Snake simulation, blah, 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 blah. Absolutely insane. If you haven't played this game casually, please do. It's absolutely phenomenal. And if you're interested in the speedrun, go to MetalGearSpeedrunners.com. We got a Discord. It's the greatest community of speedrunners that I've ever been a part of. I've speedrun a few games, but I keep coming back to Metal Gear solely because the community is incredibly welcoming. And it's just a great group of people. So if you're interested in running this game, please join the Metal Gear Speedrunners community. They're all great. This is the last boss fight of the game. Basically, we just want to keep Solidus in a cycle here before the next phase. So this is phase 2. We're going to have 2 more sections of swiping at Solidus, and on the last hit of the second phase, it's going to be time. So I'll keep you posted there. I'm hoping I'm underestimate. It looks like I might be. I kept it a little tight. I didn't mean to, but here we are. So Solidus, we want him to give us a shoulder attack. No, we didn't get it. That's okay. So 1, 2, 3. So as he comes at us, time is coming up very shortly on the 3rd hit. So 1, 2, and time. Nope. Time. There we go. And that's Metal Gear Solid 2 on very easy. When you play this game casually, you got 9 minutes of cutscenes that you cannot skip. So the actual time includes like 9.5 minutes in IGT. But for the purposes of marathon, the game is done. I just want to say thanks to everybody here at ESA. Thanks for letting me run this. Thanks for everybody who's donated. Man, it sounded like a lot of donations came in while I was playing this, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please join Metal Gear Speedrunners. Everybody there is fantastic. Yeah, and thanks for supporting, helping out with Alzheimer's. It's a great cause. I've been MackMcD. Thank you.
No worries, you did an absolutely fantastic job there. You got a 5640, so you were underestimate as well there. And
Thank
just
you.
before you go, we got a $50 anonymous donation saying, great game and great runner. And I wholeheartedly agree there. They also put it to the Trackmania 2020 showcase, so that has now been met as well. Everybody here just nailing these donations incentives left, right, and center. I look forward to joining you all in chat now, as well, as that is the end of my reading shift here. I'm going to be passing over to my good friend Paulister. He's going to be taking over for the next couple of runs. So thank you very much for running with us here, MackMcD. It was great. And I'll see you all in the chat.